What if you never had to guess whether to train again? What if every single morning you had a dead simple framework that told you exactly what kind of session to do or whether to skip it entirely based on how your body is actually feeling on that day? No guilt attached, no rigid schedule to fail, just clear decision making, your decision making, and it could all be done in about 30 seconds. That, my friends, is what I'm covering today. And if you've got PSC, and if you've ever stood in your kitchen at 7 o'clock in the morning trying to work out whether you've got enough energy in the tank to do anything physical, this one is for you. So just before we jump into things, and if this is your first time here, firstly, welcome. I'm Thomas Fowler, health and fitness coach who also lives with PSC, and I'm the founder of PSC Fit. Everything that I build is designed specifically for adults living with this condition. And the thing I hear most, it's the thing I hear from most people kind of in this community is some version of the same sentence. I just don't know what I'm supposed to do on a bad day. So today I'm giving you that answer and the physical download for it, so you can use the system time and time again. It's got a super sexy name, the PSC Fit traffic light system. I know, earth-shatteringly sexy, right? But it is quite literally the backbone of everything that I coach. The model itself, so simple. 3 lights, red, amber, green, the same as a traffic light. Some people have referred to them as zones as well, and I'm totally okay with that. So yeah, those 3 lights, red, amber, and green. Every single day before you make any decision about training, you just check in with yourself and you just figure out where you are, what zone you're in, what light you're in, and then you can act and move forward accordingly. So now I'm just going to break each one of them down for you. The red light, this is kind of what we would deem as a hard day. So your symptoms are elevated, fatigue is significant, your body is communicating very clearly that it needs support and not additional stress. On a red day, don't train, full stop. At all. I have a couple of people do like a 5 to 10 minute yoga on their red days, but that is literally it. And I don't class that as training on that day because it's just really slow, minimal movement that sometimes people need. But again, that isn't training. Now, I know it's hard, and I've struggled with this myself in the past, and it is hard to hear for some people, because years and years of fitness culture has told you that kind of resting is failure, and that if you skip a session, you're going backwards, and the only people that sort of succeed in their training are the ones that push through. Now that's great if you are the average bear, but we're not. We are PSC warriors, and we have to manage our body differently. So on a red day, the most productive thing you can do for your long-term progress is rest, eat well, hydrate, and sleep, and let your body just do what it actually needs to do. That isn't giving up. that isn't you not being consistent or anything else like that. That's intelligence. And that is intelligent managing of your body and of your symptoms. And then we have the amber light. This is kind of where you need to pace yourself and just find that balance. It's kind of obviously, well, it's the middle one. So it is kind of like the middle ground. And for most people, honestly, this is kind of where we live. We live in the amber. Does it make it good? Does it make it bad? Does it make it indifferent? It's just typically where we sort of fall into as PSC warriors. Now, amber means that there's something there. It's not full volume. Maybe you slept bad. Maybe there's some low level aching, in the upper right quad, or the fatigue sort of really fatiguing. Or the one that most people hate to talk about, maybe your gut is just a little bit unsettled and your gut is playing up. You're sort of functional, but a little sort of dysfunctional on these days. Now, on the amber days, you do move. Okay, you can, you can train, but you dial it back. So it's just a little bit lighter. So like the weights are a little bit lighter. The session itself can be a shorter duration, and you can maybe rest a little bit more in between your sets. So if you were going to go for a run, go for a walk instead. If you were going to do, I don't know, my brain's just stopped braining. But you catch my drift, If you were going to go and squat, argument's sake, let's just play with round numbers, 100 kilos on your green day. On your amber day, drop it to like 50. Rest a little bit more in between. There's no harm in that. There is no harm in that whatsoever, because you want to find the movement on that day that supports your body rather than adds more stress to it and is more taxing. Because effectively the goal on an amber day is just to show up in a way that doesn't leave you worse off. And I do want to say as well, there's no training session ever that is worth you feeling worse off than when you started. We always want to keep 30% in the tank so you can show up for either the rest of your day or the rest of your evening, however that looks for you. Movement is there to serve its place without it costing you tomorrow. And then we have the green light. So you can move forward, and you can move forward intentionally. This is obviously what we would class, my presentation's just fallen over. Let's go back to that. For those of you that are listening rather than watching, you're probably thinking what you're on about. But on YouTube, I've been having these come out as like presentations and stuff. So I'm just playing with them, seeing how they go. So apologies for that. But yeah, on a green day, we kind of class this as like, a good day. You've slept pretty good. Symptoms are quiet or just not showing up at all. Energy's feeling sort of accessible, I guess. You're, not running on empty before you've done anything. And that's amazing. And on a green day, you have capacity to sort of train that a little bit harder. Not recklessly, not the sort of, I feel amazing, so I'm going to go throw everything in. Because that in itself is a trap that like a lot of PSC warriors fall into all the time. And yes, That includes me, and yes, even now, I sometimes do fall victim to this myself. But yeah, green days are not, I repeat, are not an invitation to overdo it. They are simply just an opportunity to push just that touch more. So then what does the crux of it sort of equate to? You know, what does that check-in look like? And keep it simple, silly. It's actually keep it simple, stupid. But some people don't like that, so keep it simple, silly. Everything I do, I try to keep it as simple and basic and easily digestible, because when you have PSC, you don't want to get bogged down in stuff that's kind of too heavy, too complex, too complicated, because you just switch off. And that's the brutal honesty. So yeah, the check-in itself it's just 4 simple questions, and it honestly takes about 30 seconds to complete. Those questions are: question 1, you ask yourself, do you need to protect and reduce? Which is your red. And then you obviously have your amber. I need to pace and be intentional. Or can I move forward but wisely? So that's your green. Then question 2, what is your emotional capacity today? Now this one is very important, and some people they don't always think about the emotional impact of not only their PSC, but of how they're feeling and how that will impact their training session. So just ask yourself, are you easily overwhelmed? Are you able to handle the day sort of steadily? Or are you feeling strong and resilient? That's it. Pick one. Question 3. This one is just like a little bit of self-reflection to give thought for tomorrow. And that is just literally, if I push myself today, what will it cost me tomorrow? So if you've got an event coming up tomorrow, or you've got a presentation, or you go into a wedding, or you've got a hospital appointment, you've got something going on tomorrow, if you push too hard today, what is that going to impact tomorrow? That's a really, really important one, because whatever we do today is going to impact tomorrow. Now, question 4, one of my personal favorites, and I'll explain sort of why. Question 4 is, what one thing can I do for myself today? As I said, this is probably my most favorite question ever. Okay, and it's actually something that I practice day in, day out in all areas of my life. This sort of single question alone has helped significantly with overwhelm, with a lot of like the loud mental chatter that we all get from time to time. I've used it in my personal life, my business, literally all areas of life, by asking yourself, you know, what is that one simple thing that you can do today? Well, just that one thing. And if you think, what's one thing that can make my day, 1% easier? Once that starts to build up and compound, you'll be amazed at how much of a game changer that actually is. If you want to look a little bit further into the one thing, then I highly recommend that you read or you listen to the book. It's literally called The One Thing, and the author is Gary Keller. I cannot recommend it enough. It's been an absolute game changer to me. I discovered it through my coach Brian King Fitness. If anyone is interested and they actually want to look at building their own business, I strongly recommend and highly recommend that you reach out to Brian. But yeah, it was him that introduced me to it, and I've never looked back since. So yeah, once you've sort of answered all of that, that'll help you understand where you physically and mentally are on the day. And something that's really, really important, that it doesn't matter if you're red, amber, or green, okay? Because the traffic light system in itself isn't about you lowering your standards, okay? It's actually the complete opposite, okay? It's about applying the right sort of standard. Finding your right standards for the right day. And that in itself will allow you to have sustainable training whilst living with PSC. Now, here's the thing I want you to do, right? And in my head, I've got the Winston Churchill pointing the finger out. I genuinely want you to try the PSC Fit traffic light system every single day for the next 7 to 14 days. And I'd love to hear the feedback of how you found it. I've had people do it in the past and stuff, and just random people online and stuff have downloaded it. And some of the remarks and comments and stuff I've had back have been amazing. I did an earlier podcast on, I say earlier, I mean, this is only episode 11 or 12. But it was one of my first few, and I did read out a couple of comments and stuff. So yeah, it could be worth listening back to that as well. Who knows? But yeah, I would genuinely love to know how you find it, how you get on with it. And that's why I'm giving you the free download for it. I'm giving you this tool so you can use it in your daily life, because I genuinely believe it will significantly help, not only just from the training perspective, but from the wider perspective as well. And that download will be below in the show notes. If for any reason you can't find it, please just pop me a message over on Instagram at PSCFIT, and I'll happily just send it you straight over. So that's enough of me rambling on for today. And as always, thank you so much for listening or watching if you're perving on me on YouTube. Be an absolute darling and share this episode to another PSC warrior. Yeah. Until next week. Peace.